Welcome back to the shop, everybody. I have done a little bit of work on the trailer, not much. Mainly I did a little bit of painting here. I painted that black, painted the back of this white, and I also put the boards in place on the top and bottom and got them painted black so that I can go ahead and put the tracks in next. This one's not connected just because I wanted to be able to make sure I had enough room there to get the track in place. And other than that, I haven't done anything else. But today we are going to do a step that needs to be done before I can start working on the ceiling. That is getting the galley door framed in. Now we're not going to be adding doors or anything like that at this time. However, I do need to add some supports to the sides here, and I need to get the top piece going across here put into place, because then we can start working on that ceiling. Because this back piece here will go something like so, all the way up against the end there, and that should keep it nice and sturdy for us. Now I am going to be using a 2x4 for that, because I do want that outside piece to be as strong as possible. Oh yes, one more thing that I got done is I did get all of the holes drilled and recessed in for the mounts to the trailer frame. So I've got 4 of those in the back here. As you can see, there's 1 in each corner, and then we've got 2 in the center there. And of course we've got them throughout the entire trailer, which will definitely come in handy when it comes to, you know, attaching the sleeping quarters to the actual trailer, which I'm hoping to do once I get at least the ceiling put on, because guys, I have not been able to get out in the canoes up here all summer because, well, there's just no room to be able to remove them, where if I can remove the trailer because it'll be on its wheels, I'll be able to at least move it forward enough where I can get to the canoes, which I really want to do because, well, it's getting into fall here and I haven't gotten them on the water once. So I'm hoping that I can get this thing put onto its frame here in the next couple of weeks. But let's go ahead and get to that framing. Alright, so now I just measured from the inside of the outer wall on that side to the same on this side, and it's coming out to be 59 and 11/16. So now I'm going to cut the board to length, and then I'm going to have to cut it this way as well, because it is a 2x4 and this is coming out at like 2 1/4. Alright, so as you guys can see here, it is flush with the top there, and that side is right. However, once we come down to this side here, the board, for one, is very twisted, and 2, we are not flush. And that's because evidently this side is just a little bit lower than the other side is. Well, unfortunately, there's not really much that I can do about that. It's like 1/16 of an inch off, And so I'm just going to continue to build it like as if it wasn't, and I'll probably end up having to go through and maybe fill that up with some caulk or something. But I'm going to go ahead and look and see if I've got any more 2x4s that aren't crooked, because there's one underneath that pile down below here, and there's a chance that it's not crooked. I'm really hoping it's not crooked. So I'm going to go ahead and check that one and see if I can get that same board out of it. But since you guys just saw me cut that one, I'm just going to skip to if it did or didn't work. Alright, so that second one was a lot straighter. Well, at least I was able to cut a straight piece out of it. So as you guys can see here, I now have the top one screwed in as well and in place. Now, this whole thing is not perfectly square. It's like 1/16 or a little bit less off because of the bottom being a little bit smaller than the top is. But the top has to be where it's at because that's what the entire rest of the roof is going to be. So what I'm going to have to do is I'll deal with that whole issue once it comes to actually putting the door thing together, because what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to add a little piece that comes out right here, and then that is what the door seal will be on, and that's going to go all the way around the entire frame. So I'm gonna probably end up putting another piece of wood right here all the way across. That way I have something to screw that to, because I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna need that extra little bit. So I have not decided yet what I'm gonna put there. Now I could have taken a 2x4, laid it flat all the way across, and then, you know, just added another piece of wood to it. However, if I would have done that, I would have had to screw through a 4-inch piece of wood to be able to put a backlight up here if that's what I decided to do. Now, I don't know if law will require me to have one or not, so that's why I'm leaving this little space up here to be able to put one. Alright, so this one was a bit shorter than they usually are, but honestly guys, I just wanted to get out here, do something on the trailer, because it's been about 3 weeks since I've been out here actually doing something. My parents came to town, and so there is that whole thing, getting ready for them to be here and all that. And then the last couple of weeks, it's just been miserable out, and I really didn't want to work out here when it was like 95 or 100 out. Thankfully, my dad was able to help me figure out how that back door system is all going to go together and everything. So that shouldn't be too horribly bad now that I kind of have an idea. But I won't be able to really finish working on that until I get the things like the door sealing foam and all that kind of stuff in the door locks in to the shop here, because that all requires measurements and figuring out how thick stuff is going to be. So yeah, hopefully next video I will be cutting the rafters or joists for the roof, and maybe even get a couple of them put into place, but we'll see about that. Until next time, as always, you have a good one.